I found this fascinating, particularly in the wake of the controversy or the questioning of Stephen Colbert when he had Mamdani and Zoran, when they had Mamdani and Lander on the program 2 nights before the election, about a week ago. I guess the night before the election, about a week ago. He had on Clarissa Ward, correspondent with CNN, and it's fascinating where this information goes. Like, I don't even know if you get this on CNN, but again, this is really, I love seeing this on this outlet because you're hitting a lot of people who do not follow this kind of reporting either on purpose or simply because they're not interested in it. And it's interesting to see this word going out. I mean, you have at least 75 Palestinians killed by Israeli bombing of Gaza. The food situation is incredibly dire. Play this clip.
Correspondent live via satellite from Jordan, Clarissa Ward. You've done extensive reporting from the Middle East for years. Do you have a sense of how that region now views the United States? Because this is an unprecedented military action by the United States. While we've had tension with Iran for all these years, we've never bombed them.
Right. I think there was a moment, when Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump were kind of dangling this idea of regime change. That is anathema to people in this region. They remember the invasion of Iraq. They remember the hundreds of thousands of people and the wave of terror and sectarianism and chaos that was unleashed as a result of that. So absolutely, that's abhorrent for people to hear in this region. But honestly, Iran is not the big issue right now in this region with America. Gaza is what is tearing people apart, is what is fueling hatred. I cannot even tell you, every day people come up to me, Stephen, and they say, are they not seeing what we're seeing? Are they not seeing this moonscape? Are they not seeing tens of thousands killed, children starved, the largest cohort of child amputees in the history of modern warfare? Are they not seeing this? And it has eroded their faith in international institutions, in international humanitarian law, and in any notion that the U.S. is some kind of a guiding light or a beacon of human rights. And that really is a far more animating issue to most people in the Middle East right now than this latest issue or round of hostilities with Iran.
I assume not simply because the United States is not living up to its principles of human rights, but because we're overtly supporting the Israeli military and giving them the equipment they need to carry out this military action in Gaza.
We're paying for the weapons and we're giving them cover. And that is something that people really in this region cannot get their head around, cannot forgive, and cannot fathom.
What is the latest on the ongoing hunger in Gaza?
Well, the UN has been saying for some time now, we are approaching a man-made famine. We did a story on CNN the other day of a little boy in such frustration that he was putting fistfuls of sand into his mouth and screaming at the camera. We are talking about hundreds of people being mowed down, making the 8-hour hike to try to get food from these aid distributions. We've crossed the Rubicon here. And that's not my opinion. That is a statement of fact based on everything I am seeing every single day. And the one hope that people have right now is that maybe now, on the back of this ceasefire, maybe now that Prime Minister Netanyahu has kind of flexed his muscles to the more right-wing members or the far right of his cabinet, maybe now there is a space to have a ceasefire in Gaza, to get those hostages home. And by the way, the families of those hostages as well were out imploring Israel's leadership just yesterday, saying, please don't just make this a ceasefire for Israel and Iran, include Gaza in it. And we heard President Trump today too saying he's hopeful, there's a chance, and in the next few days we'll see if there really will be some possibility of a ceasefire in Gaza.
Clarissa, thanks so much for joining us. I hope you.
I mean, that seemed to go a little differently than one would anticipate, brought on to talk about Iran. We should say this is in the wake of the reporting by Haaretz that Israeli soldiers were ordered to fire upon Palestinians who were coming for food aid. No suspicion of armed fighters amongst them. Just fire on them. This is coming in the wake of Israeli reporting that they were putting like oxy in the flour or something. I mean, this is just full out and out barbarism. It's just, it's disgusting. And one wonders, will we hear Kristen Gillibrand accuse that reporter of anti-Semitism? Will we hear the ADL accuse Colbert and that reporter of anti-Semitism? Will Congressman Dan Goldman accuse them of anti-Semitism? What about Senator Schumer? Where are the accusations of anti-Semitism? I mean, it's insanity. It's insanity.
Get to that after the problematic slogans block.
Speaking of accusing Mamdani of being a potential danger to Jews in New York City, here is Mamdani responding to Kristen Gillibrand, and we should also say to other conservatives too, folks like Charlie Kirk, I mean, on and on, saying that he was just the sheer Islamophobia was crazy.
I have to ask you, too, about what it's been like for you to process some of the Islamophobic responses that we've seen. I think some would say they're not as surprised by some, like, Representative Ogles saying you should be deported. But others have been a bit surprised by, for example, a New York senator going on a popular radio show and suggesting that you support global jihad. What has that been like for you? And have you had the chance to speak with Senator Gillibrand?
I spoke to Senator Gillibrand soon after the victory on Tuesday evening, and the comments that I've heard, especially from Republicans across the country, and even the comments prior during the primary, were comments that were both unsurprising and yet still quite sad, because they showcase what politics has become for so many. It's a language of darkness and a language of exclusion. And what has kept me hopeful through this is that our vision is one where every New Yorker belongs. And there are so many New Yorkers who previously hadn't voted in primaries, who saw themselves now in this politics, saw their struggles in our policies, and took that step to actually cast a ballot. And what excites me is that there are moments where someone will cast a ballot for someone with an exclusionary vision like Donald Trump, and they can still come back to the Democratic Party. And so many of our victories were in neighborhoods that went for Donald Trump in the presidential election. We're talking about College Point or Dyker Heights, so many of the same places we were told that we had now lost voters forever. And instead, what we've found is that if you have a relentless focus on an economic agenda and you welcome people back and you turn the political instinct from lecturing to listening, you can still have people come home to the Democratic Party as long as you show them that's a party that will fight for working people, not those that are benefiting off the struggles of working people.
We are going to dig into some of your policies.
I mean, that is so good. It's nuts.
It's crazy.
Isn't it? It's nuts.
He makes him look so small.
It's unbelievable. Put up that graph of, put up number 9. This is stunning. this graph is crazy. It shows the you got it?
Yeah, 1 second here.
This graph shows the age demographic between 2021 primary and the 2025 primary. It really is crazy. If you'll notice here, 18 to 24, the vast majority of those people would not have voted, weren't even eligible to vote. So they're almost all new people. It's basically flipped from 2021, but it is still stunning to see.
Seems like some of the so-called prayers have been answered about how to reach some of these folks. The question is, do people like Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries want to listen to that?
Well, Mom Donnie is the left's Joe Rogan.
I mean, I'd rather take a mayor than a podcaster, but okay.
Well, maybe what we'll do is just give him a podcast. I mean, those numbers are amazing. I mean, he's an incredible talent.
I mean, that's why it was such a surprise on election night, right? Like, the pollsters probably weren't expecting that many 18 to 24-year-olds to turn out.
I mean, that is what, we were saying before the election. It's like, you can't really, when you have a campaign like this, you can't assume, and it's a primary, and it's June. I mean, all the things. But of course, the 2021 primary was in June too. When you have a candidate who is looking to mobilize people, like that's like inherent in their ideology, is the idea that the power emanates from people. When you have a candidate like that, you can't really anticipate what it's hard to model who the electorate's going to be. And people did a bad job of that. I mean, I guess the PPP did okay.
I mean, we love those guys, yep.
But, I mean, he's also an amazing politician. Hey, folks, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and check out our daily show. We do it every day at 12 p.m. Eastern for about 2.5 hours. We even take phone calls. You should check that out.